Are we actually live yet?
It says going live. Now, almost live. I think we're live now. Yeah, 6 seconds live.
What's going on?
What's going on? I don't like the studio format when you're watching your own live stream. No.
Yeah.
I like it from the viewer's perspective a little better. But I guess that's just because I'm not used to this one. We'll let some people funnel in.
Want to post something on Facebook?
Oh, yeah. Good idea. Let's go share some links.
Share some links. That'd be good.
Get them rolling out. Community tab.
Please bear with us while we tell people we're streaming. Looks like we got some people funneling in.
Oh, yeah. What's going on, fellas? We got some hot takes coming at you here soon.
What's up with Mid Valley? I think he's really busy.
What's up with him?
Yeah, we've got a couple people asking where he's at.
What do you mean? Why do you think he's super busy?
Because he's a busy guy.
He is a busy guy.
I'm sure he is, but I just wonder if you had any insight because I didn't know that he was.
He's
extra busy.
He got a new job last time we heard from him.
Yeah.
That was helicopters or planes or something.
That's what he said. I didn't hear what he said, I guess.
Oh, how's the Pintail coming, Jordan?
Well, every night in my dreams, I see it flying, floating, and then sailing away.
My computer is being really slow. All I'm trying to do is post a link on Facebook. There we go. Post. Done. That took way longer than it should have. Darren, I have not received my Hunter's Hall box yet. It should be coming here pretty soon, hopefully. Fingers crossed. But I'm looking forward to seeing what's in it because it is the mega box. The last one, I got Vortex binoculars in it.
Wow.
Dang.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. So I'm thinking what we'll do here is just a little Q&A, chit chat, chew the fat, little spitball session, chatting with everybody, answer some questions.
Sweet.
Send a text out to your buddies, tell them to watch, shoot them a link,
Yep.
share it, like it, subscribe. You know the drill. I'm over here with these two yahoos. Why don't you introduce yourselves and tell my audience about what you guys do?
All right.
Jordan, you want to start?
I'm Josh from Outdoor Limits. I make YouTube videos about duck hunting.
Ah, sweet.
All right. No, I'm Jordan from Duck Hunt Chronicles, Duck Hunt Podcast as well. So making YouTube videos from Indiana, Michigan, and getting a little bit travel out to Kansas too. But yeah, doing the podcast as well weekly, and yeah, having a lot of fun with it.
And I'm Matt from High Prairie Sportsman, and I don't know if I can talk about my podcast yet or not, but there is a podcast coming sometime. So, but yeah, make duck hunting videos too, like these guys. Yeah.
So
Sweet.
we got a question here asking about what the plan is for the upcoming collab and if we can talk about it yet.
Do we know the plans?
We don't have any plans set in stone quite yet,
We're
but we've
trying.
got a lot. We've been brainstorming and trying to figure things out. We kind of have it narrowed down to it being, late November, early December time frame, and that's about all we know at this point.
Yeah, we're gonna kill ducks.
Hopefully,
I think.
or cranes, or geese, or swans. Depends on how deep my pockets are. They're
Well,
not very deep.
Maybe
I heard we're gonna
pheasants.
shoot limits. 5 greenheads and 1 pintail every hunt.
Dude, you're dreaming.
Have you ever done that, Josh? 5 mallards and 1 pintail.
Yeah, I've done it at least once that I know of, or like 5 mallards and a widgeon. Done that a lot.
Nice. I feel like 5 Drake mallards and 1 Drake pintail is like the ultimate limit.
Mm,
Am I wrong? Is there a better limit out there?
there is a better limit.
Is it adding your geese onto it too?
Yeah, yes, it is.
Yeah.
5 Drake mallards, 1 bull sprig, and 6 big old fat Canada honkers.
Now, how many times have you done that?
Honestly, I've never done too many limit out combo shoots. I've never done one, actually. It's hard to find the places where you're shooting both ducks and geese. But like in a field, like sometimes I get a duck field pinned down and we shoot a bunch of ducks. We shoot all of our limits of ducks and we only shoot, like 5, 6 geese. But I've never done it to where we shoot our limits of ducks and then right after that we're shooting limits of geese in the same spread.
Yeah. We've been close one time, and our limit of mallards is 1 less than yours, obviously, and our geese is 3 less than you, and we still haven't done it. It's been close. We had one hunt where we shot a 6-man limit of mallards. I think we had 5 or 6 teal and then 11 geese. So almost there, not quite for the full trifecta.
Yeah, that brings up a good point. Like, you know how like duck hunters like to brag? Like everybody likes to brag about how well they're doing. Oh yeah, we're shooting limits of greenheads. Well, like everywhere you go, it's gonna most likely be a little bit different.
Yeah.
But like Kansas and Nebraska, they're no different. But Kansas and Missouri with mallards, in Missouri you can only shoot 4. In Kansas you can shoot 5. So
Yep.
like
Yeah.
Atlantic Flyway, you can only shoot 2. You talk to somebody from Carolinas and they're saying, yeah, we shot our limited greenheads this morning. Okay, that's great. You shot 2 apiece. So yeah, a little perspective.
That's probably
there.
what people feel like though in like Washington State, where they can shoot 7 mallards and I can only shoot 4. They're like, what's the point of even going out?
Yeah. I need to make my way up there sometime.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. Jordan, how do you like your A5?
I like it. I had some issues like with the first one I got, just to be honest. So, I don't know if I just got like a lemon or one that was made on Friday, but I sent it back to him after season, and this last season I got it like midway through November, and I shot it all the way through season, and I didn't have any issues with it. So I mean, I love Wicked Wings A5, and I love my old classic A5 too.
Yeah, Matt, what do you shoot? Didn't you just get a new gun?
I did. So I shoot usually 2 guns. I shoot a Remington 870 20 gauge for like teal season and early duck every now and then, just whenever I feel like it. And then I usually late season and geese, I shoot a 12 gauge Versamax. And I got a 28 gauge TriStar now too.
28 gauge. How
pretty
hard
pumped
is it
about
to find shells for a 28 gauge?
I mean, they sell lead ones at Walmart. Otherwise, you got to go to like Cabela's or Shields or special order them. So I haven't got mine yet, but I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm gonna go with.
I wonder what it would
Just
be
yet.
like hunting ducks with a 28 gauge.
I'm gonna try it.
Because, like, I don't think it'd be a ethical decision for hunting geese, but for ducks, and the way Matt hunts them, he hunts them pretty much the same way I do, where we're trying to get them in tight, and we're not trying to take too many passing shots. I think a
Yeah.
28 gauge would be a pretty fun gun to shoot ducks with. Get them in within that 20-yard range, and I don't know if Federal makes them, but they might. For 28 gauge, they make a black cloud close range shell where all of the pellets are the flight stopper pellets. So they're the funky shaped ones.
Okay.
I'm curious how that would work.
Yeah, I don't see it, and I've thought about Boss. I know they have. I think they go to 5-shot and 28 gauge, so I might go with them. Otherwise, I don't really know yet. I need to do some more shopping and probably order them soon.
Does it chamber 3-inch shells or just 2 3/4?
I believe it's only 2 3/4.
Okay, because I know like 20 gauge you can go up to 3-inch, and that makes a big difference between 20 for the 20 gauge, 3-inch versus 2 3/4.
I think there's only like one 28 gauge out there, or maybe there's 2 models that can go up to 3-inch. For the most part, I think they all shoot 2 3/4.
Gotcha.
But I've killed 2 turkeys with it this year. Actually, that's the only thing I killed turkeys with this year, and that was a blast. It was so much fun.
What kind of loads were you shooting?
Just standard 5-shot lead. Picked them up at Walmart.
Huh.
Yeah, I can't wait to see all Matt's 28 gauge challenge videos this next season.
It's gonna be epic.
Not challenge.
Or is it gonna be insane?
They're gonna be insane challenge.
Crazy.
Unexpected results.
Unexpected results.
Jeez.
Kevin Barton.
Gotta love clickbait.
Oh yeah.
What's up, buddy? He's asking if any of us hunt in North Dakota. I've never hunted in North Dakota. How about you guys?
No, but we threw around the idea of it yesterday.
Yeah. Someday.
So Jordan and I were talking last night, and we were like, man, I wish we had like a whole week to just get together and do stuff. And Jordan brought the idea of how cool it would be to go like North Dakota and freelance for a whole week and try that out, which that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
We're getting a call from Thomas now. Do we want to add him in?
Yeah, I'll
texted him.
He just called me and Jordan.
Yeah, he didn't even text me back. Matt, have you shot a band?
I have. Actually, my first duck was a banded mallard drake, and since then it's been 18 years. I got to think how old I am. 16 years since.
Seriously?
I haven't got a band.
Your first duck was banded.
That's
crazy.
First
duck was banded, nothing since, and no geese.
Man, I've been on a hold on.
Popping them in here. Everybody's seen the back end over here.
My first duck was a banded mallard drake.
Mute.
Yep.
Mute it.
One sec. Got it.
Is this your first live stream? Jeez.
I know. I'm all out of whack today.
Now we're joined with Thomas from Virginia Outdoors Unlimited.
Howdy, everybody.
I don't even know how many people we've got in here. I haven't even looked. How many people we got? We got 48. Not bad. Not bad.
48,000. Yeah,
if you guys want to
awesome.
go ahead and click the link in the description, head over to the Flyways Collective YouTube page. Give us a subscribe over there. I'm planning on making some content for that channel, and I'm sure these other guys are too. But we've also got a Facebook and an Instagram. Give us a follow on there at the Flyways Collective, and stay tuned because we're having some fun. And I think what's going to happen is we've been doing these live streams on my channel, but I think the end goal is to be doing these kind of live streams on the Flyways Collective channel. So if you guys want to see more of these live streams with all the guys, go give that channel a subscribe and stay tuned because, probably within the next few weeks, we'll start doing the live streams over there.
Awesome.
How
Hey,
y'all doing tonight?
We're doing great. Here's an idea for you, Josh.
Okay.
What if we have you seen the post? We actually talked about this. I think it was Matt's idea. But did you see the post in Hardcore Waterfowl where it was talking about people's top 3 hated things about YouTube duck hunters?
No, I haven't. I actually don't see too many of those things on my timelines. I see a lot of like kayak duck hunting pages more than hardcore waterfowl.
Gotcha. Well,
What was it though?
It'd be cool just to kind of like breeze through some of the comments and like react to them. What do you guys think?
That would be good. Yeah. Can we get that pulled up?
Yeah, I'll go find the post unless one of you guys have it up already. Thomas, you know what the first name of the guy was?
I can find it.
See, Thomas and Matt are all over this kind of stuff.
Hey, real quick, did you see Elliot's story on Instagram today?
Yeah, he sent me a text of it earlier today. I was like, yeah, go ahead.
They took Freak Baby and they put a Mojo motor in there so it has spinning wings now.
That's awesome.
Is great. That is so good.
Now they gotta take that little teal decoy and do the same thing.
I was about.
What is it? They call it Terrence or something like
Terry.
that.
Terry.
Yeah, Terry the confidence teal.
I literally, when he texted me that and it had the picture of it, I'm like, refuses to hunt over a Dove Mojo for teal, but will gladly shoot over Freak Baby Mojo. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Now
funny. I gotta think of something.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Oh, I got it. I'll do a beer can.
It's the Mojo challenge. We just all come up with a different Mojo. I'm gonna use like an old tennis shoe.
Oh,
I bet with teal you could honestly put it in almost anything and it would work.
Do you think? What about mallards?
Or doves, yeah.
That's true. Did you get that, Thomas?
Yeah, I found it. Y'all want to go through it?
Yeah.
How should we do this? Y'all want me to read them out or screen share or something?
No, we'll just let you be the mediator on it. You just go ahead and we'll get Josh back in here. Yeah, go ahead and read them out.
All right. I can't get my freaking phone to charge tonight. I literally opened up my computer and I saw Josh's text, and then I tried to call y'all, and then I put 2 and 2 together and figured y'all were streaming.
He thought you were ignoring him.
No, I just can't get my phone to charge. I can only get my text on my computer right now.
Whew. It's cold in here. We got the AC on. Lauren likes to turn the AC down.
Likes to freeze you out.
Yeah.
She's just trying to keep you acclimated for duck season.
Yeah, I've actually been getting up at 5:30 every morning too. The grind never stops. Be prepared. That's one of those things that I've always told myself I needed to do, is just start waking up earlier and getting into the groove of it in the off season so that I'm always used to it. Because I think one of the biggest things for me is during season, if I'm getting up early all the time, I am just so tired all the time.
Yeah, I think for me the biggest thing is if I don't have my schedule the same. So like if I start to get up at like you said like 5:30, well I just do it every day. Then when you go hunt on Saturday or whatever, you're not really that tired. And then you don't have a good excuse like sleeping in and missing your scouting opportunities.
That's true.
What
do you guys
take it away, Thomas?
Oh, you got it?
What'd you say? Yeah, I got it up.
Oh, let's hear it. I want to hear this.
Do we just, I guess I'll just go through. So the guy asked, he said, top 3 things you dislike about hunting and fishing videos on YouTube. Can be YouTube or content creator related. Most people just left one thing or a couple things. The first person said shitty cameras and shitty people running the camera. So I think that's a probably pretty common one. This was actually the most like comment. It said the nut riding of sponsors I couldn't have done this without my XXX tree stand or ... dough piss just takes away from everything. Someone said it sounds like a NASCAR winner's circle, which I have seen that before. Like they actually, people will get on YouTube and like, it's like, it sounds like a NASCAR. Like, I'd like to thank the team and I'd like to thank all my sponsors, you know. And at that point, I feel like people just like, people have become so used to that in modern day media that they just click off it.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to be creative about how you integrate the sponsors. Like for me, sponsors are a huge part of how I can continue doing this. And I bet you most viewers understand that, but some don't. And it's like, once you get to the point where, you're doing this more full time, having those sponsors to help you out really, really makes a big difference. And you got to, make it a mutual thing. They want to have their product shown on your videos. So you need to make that time to put that product in there.
Yeah, I'd say like the number one kind of request we get from viewers is, hey, when's the next video coming out? Hey, when's the next video? You got any hunt videos coming out? And it's like you said, the more the more we can hunt, the more we can take trips, and the more content we can get out, we're kind of putting that content out for the viewers and followers, and that's awesome for all of us, and the sponsors definitely help in that kind of line. But for sure, I think there's something to be said about well integrated sponsors in opposed to like a NASCAR circle, like you're saying, Thomas.
Yeah, I completely agree. Another one, this one was another really liked comment. People said music in the background. And I think that comes from like the early era of YouTube when every duck hunting video was just a kill montage with heavy metal in the background. And so now people like hear any music and it's just another complete turn off. That one got a lot of likes. What do y'all think about that?
That's something. Oh, Matt, you go.
See, I think there's a place for it, whether it be just your intro and your outro or something. But like throughout, it depends on the style of video you're making too. But you want to try to pick the right music for it. I mean, obviously, the heavy metal stuff, that's not my thing. When I put music in it, I try to go towards a kind of more country feel, or even a classic rock, country, southern rock kind of deal. But I just, keep it to that intro, and then you just take it into the video, and then you hear the nature, you hear the ducks talking and everything else, because people want to hear that. They want basically waterfowl ASMR part of the time. They want to hear the birds, they want to hear the gunshot, and adding music over that takes away from it. But having some just bring you into it isn't a bad thing, in my opinion.
I agree. There's a time and place for it. Some videos you really can't do it without the music, but most videos you can. So there's a right time and place. But yeah, Thomas, you're right. The early days of it, that's pretty much all it was.
I think with the music, it's like a very strong storytelling option, and with our duck hunting, even if we're doing it just 100% vlog style, it's a story from start to finish, and we're just telling the story as it happens. And if there's music that you can add to it that helps create that feeling that you're having on the hunt, or the feeling that you want to kind of express to the viewers and the people watching it, I think that's when music is great, whether it's, having an epic intro and some epic music with that, or it's having more kind of setting the tone or the feel, or the emotion of the hunt. It's good to use it as a storytelling technique. But beyond that, yeah, it's like you said, you don't want it to be the main focus where it's just rock music that's so loud that that's all you hear.
Next. The next comment is actually mine. We can skip that for now.
No, what'd you put?
Yeah, let's hear it, Thomas. What'd you put?
Oh, I actually followed the format. I said the 3 things I most dislike about YouTube.
Stop
I said
beating around the bush. Just tell
guys
us.
who routinely skybust, guys who routinely name drop the public land spot they're at, and guys who shoot pen raised ducks and try to pass it off as wild birds.
Wow, way to
So-
call out Elliot.
That's rule number one. If you're going to post something, you never say where you are, because, you know, when you got following that I've got for my situation, like if I name drop one place, chances are there's going to be a lot more traffic heading there. It's not that I don't want people to do well. It's just I don't want to have to worry about the competition necessarily, because I want to have good hunts too. If you can figure out where I hunt, which it's not hard if you know the area, yeah, there you go. You know the spot that I hunt. Good job.
Yeah, that's the thing about the spot. That, like, if you're filming in an area, inherently the people who also hunt that area are probably going to recognize the area at some point. So I just don't. The thing with name dropping is then you get people coming from 2, 3, 4 hours away driving to come hunt just a particular spot, and then having no idea about the area. They have no scouting going into it, and that tends to lead to unproductive hunts in general.
Yeah. The other
What's
thing,
the next comment?
the other thing that kind of goes with that, real quick to add on to it, for people filming, don't film in the parking lot either, because that's a dead giveaway on landmarks.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Looking for some other good ones. A reoccurring theme was that a lot of people don't like when people basically make it look like killing is the whole thing instead of the work that goes into a hunt, or showing the work that goes in before the season of a hunt. A lot of people didn't like just the videos that show only kind of the killing part of hunting.
Then why
Okay,
do
that's interesting, because I can look at how, like, I can look at where people skip to in videos and see like the most watched points in a video, and a lot of people skip through like the whole intro and setting up and all that straight to the killing, and once the killing stops, things drop off again. So that's an interesting comment to hear, because I have data on my side that shows that a vast majority of people don't care about, oh, we're getting in the truck to go, here's the decoys being set up. They just want to see the ducks getting shot.
See, I bet part of that is the demographics on this group that you're reading these comments off of, Thomas, is, maybe they tend to be older, and I don't know exactly how the age breakdown is, but I would guess part of its group demographics is why you're seeing that on that group versus what Josh is seeing on his channel.
Yeah, agreed. And then, I mean, there wasn't much else on there that was super
what was the last
interesting.
comment? I think I saw the last comment the other day.
The last one, this was from a day ago. It said the heavy breathing cameraman, when a hunter is trying to teach the viewers, filming in high wind and trying to talk to the camera and viewers, if the heavy cameraman breathing or wind drowns out the footage, reshoot it. And then crazy death metal music over the sound outdoors was another thing they didn't like. Over the outdoor sounds.
There's no way to know if they can hear the breathing while
true.
you're in the field.
Yeah.
You find that when you pull it up on your computer when you get home.
Yeah, some of these are really just nitpicky.
I think it's people not realizing what goes into filming. You don't.
Yep.
I can't like go out there and like refilm myself running after a duck because I was breathing too loud in my GoPro.
Yeah, or you can't fix it if your microphone goes out.
Yeah.
You can't just go back and redo the hunt. It is what it is, and you try to make the most of it. Is that the last of the Facebook comments?
That's pretty much it. I mean, a lot of these, a lot of them didn't have much substance or weren't really that interesting. I'll keep looking and see if I can find anything else, but yeah.
Yep.
Oh, Here's a good question. Dream hunt. Did we do this last week?
Ooh,
don't think
that's
we
a good
did.
one.
That's a good question. Let's take her away.
I guess
Anybody
I'll
wanna go?
start.
Or Josh, whoever.
My dream hunt. I have so many. But I think my dream hunt is to finally get a limit out combo shoot with ducks and geese with like 4 or 5 guys. Everybody limits out on ducks and geese. That's my dream hunt. But if we're just going from like dream hunt as in like experience and not just like limits, then I would say I'd really like to go out and hunt on the coast and shoot some sea ducks and brant geese.
Got to come out here to Virginia this year, Josh.
Maybe.
Sea ducks aplenty.
I heard they taste like crap though.
Yeah, you can make them taste all right. Just a little bit more work.
Mine would be kind of like Josh's. It'd be a king eider hunt up in Alaska. There's just that's on my bucket list for. It's been on my bucket list for years.
Man, any hunt right about now sounds good. So I'm a little biased. I just want to be out in the marsh and, to be cold.
And
Maybe some
limit out on
snow.
pintails. Limit out on pintails.
I would love to shoot a
Yeah.
pintail, but I have to be realistic. So just mallards. I don't know. My dream hunt. I really don't know. Is that bad? I don't have a dream hunt. I just want to, probably a trip. I love doing like trips series on YouTube. Go out, hunt some mallards in a marsh, maybe some snow. Right about now, it sounds awesome.
We're getting some good questions in the chat too, so we can definitely jump back to some of those. I think my dream hunt would probably be down at Lake Catahoula in Louisiana, partially because they shoot just awesome mixed bags down there, canvasback, pintails, a little bit of everything. And then secondly, now it's been deemed a private lake, so you can't actually publicly hunt it anymore. So it would be kind of a dream hunt since you got to pay to hunt the place now.
So here's a good question. When you look back on last season, what do you want to do differently in this upcoming season? And I will start this one because this past season, I didn't get the chance to hunt very much public land because our public land, it wasn't very inviting to ducks because we had a bunch of flooding last spring. So what happens in marshes is if it's flooded throughout the spring and summer, more like the summer, then the aquatic vegetation doesn't grow and then the ducks don't have food. So our biggest issue the last season on a lot of public land was we didn't have very much food or habitat for ducks. We had water, but we didn't have anything for the ducks as in food or, just places to hang out. So my goal this next season, is to hunt more public land. And I really want to focus more on ducks. I shot a lot of geese last season, but didn't really shoot very many ducks. So my goal is to focus on public land ducks this next season.
Awesome.
What would you guys do differently in this upcoming season?
Well,
For me, it's
go ahead, Thomas.
probably for me it would be just to travel more around Virginia. Last season, it just seemed like the outlooks were so bad across the state that I had very little motivation to travel. But in the past, I've really, enjoyed hunting, kind of everywhere in Virginia. I've got to experience it all. And there's, different styles and different birds in different places. So I just want to travel more this season and I want to hunt more out of the kayak. I want to travel with the kayak and just explore new water bodies out of the kayak and just kind of, if you shoot birds, you shoot birds. If you don't, you don't. But you just got to take a chance sometimes and learn some new places. So I'm going to want to do that more this season.
Yeah, I guess I'd probably have to say about the same as, it's easy to fall into that rut of, this area pretty well. I'm just going to go hunt this area, but I'd really like to branch out and find some new areas to hunt, new parts of the state, new states to hunt, all that good stuff. Just exploring new areas is part of the fun of, public land duck hunting and even just duck hunting in general.
It's so easy to get stuck in that rut because I've been there. Like this past season, I was there. It's like we had a pond that, you'd go out there and you'd shoot geese every time. Like it was ridiculous. It was right between the roost and the feed. They'd come back, hit the water, and then loaf around all day and then go back to roost. So it was pretty consistent throughout the whole season. It was so easy to fall in that rut because it's like these are easy birds to hunt and we want to hunt, we want to shoot birds, so let's go with that option. But it kind of, looking back on it now, I wish I kind of branched out a little more. And I'm sure you guys have been in that same boat too, where you get to know an area so well and you have so many different little honey holes that you just regularly go to because they're so productive. It's so hard to branch out and take a chance somewhere else.
Yep. I would say with my season, it's kind of a crazy question because last season I hunted more than I've ever hunted. I killed more ducks than I've ever killed. I killed more geese than I've ever killed. I traveled more than I ever had. Had a lot of successful hunts in Kansas, Michigan, and Indiana. So it's like, man, it seems like the perfect season. For me, honestly, I just want to do more of the same. One thing I love doing is kind of like weekend trips. So I want to make sure I do as many as I can and still stick to the chasing the opener series. But as far as like YouTube and like filming, this year I want to make sure I like up my game as far as like filmmaking and storytelling and all that goes into that. So that's kind of my big goal is to do more series and have more epic films.
Yeah. So why don't you guys who are watching this live drop in the comments or in the live chat what you guys enjoy most in the videos? Like what are your favorite parts of the videos? Do you enjoy like the pre-hunt setup, kind of B-roll stuff? Do you enjoy just the kill shots? What is your reason for watching? What do you guys like to watch most? Because I've tried so many different things trying to figure out what everybody likes to watch, and it's hard to figure that out. So it's helpful to know how we can be better YouTubers, how we can make videos you guys want to watch. So go ahead and drop in the comments what you guys like to see in the videos, and we can try and do our best from that part.
Tucker, Indiana dates seem pretty normal for what they've been in the past, so not disappointed or surprised. It's just kind of what I expected all the way through.
Okay, most memorable hunting moment from last season.
I got one that kind of sticks out of my head. Well, I got two. One was when Josh told me that my pintail was a redhead, and so I stopped shooting. And then second was on one of my hunts, and I've never had this happen, and I probably never will again. Chief went and he retrieved a wood duck drake. He brought it right to me in the canoe, and it was this beautiful, like, plumage on it was awesome, beautiful wood duck drake, and no joke, like he hands it to me, and I'm like trying like as lightly as possible to wring its neck, and I thought I'd wrung its neck, and I set it down in my lap, and it flew away. Chief literally jumped over the canoe when it flew away. He jumped over the canoe. I thought it was going to tip. He climbed over me trying to chase this bird, and literally the wood duck flew away. So definitely pretty crazy. Got it all on film too. Come on, guys.
For me, it would probably be, honestly, I think my Kansas pintail, because that first hunt, like I was immediately awestruck by the amount of birds we saw. And then the pintails just kept on skirting us, kept on skirting us, kept on skirting us. And I honestly thought it like just wasn't going to happen. I was like, I'm going to be in the same boat as Jordan. And then finally got a somewhat close opportunity.
Yeah, you had a good time that first day. You were shooting all
Yeah.
kinds of firsts.
Spoonies.
Spoonies.
Never shot a spoonie before. Wow.
For me, I'd probably have to say when I got my Quill Lake goose last year, that was a first for me. I never shot one before. They, you look up and you can see them from a mile high, but they'd always eluded me, and I just happened to be the one on the right side of the pit when he came in. So, and now he's going to the taxidermist.
I think I've got a lot of memorable moments from last year, but I think one of them had to have been the 4 bands in one hunt. That was pretty sweet. But I also got to explore some new areas last year and had some really successful hunts exploring some new areas. So that was pretty cool too.
Honestly, I have to add on to that too, because shooting my banded mallard as well, and then continuing after that and shooting 2 more bands in like the next 20 days was pretty crazy. When I've gone so long without shooting a band at all. So you're right, bands are definitely memorable parts of hunting. Somewhere in Wisconsin asked, what are you most looking forward to this upcoming season? I would say opening day. Just get it here, man.
That's
I have my eye.
Whoa. Thomas, go.
All right. I have my eye on this new area. It's a pretty big area of Virginia, but it's an area I've really never explored before. So I'm just gonna dedicate some time to learning it and hopefully shoot a few new birds down there, because they do have more different species down there that I don't typically get into.
Next.
What I'm looking forward to next season, I don't know. I don't know what to expect. That's a loaded question. I guess it goes back to what I answered previously with focusing more on public land ducks. I'm really looking forward to the public land grind and getting wheels on the ground, scouting that public land, driving miles, and having some good hunts on public land shooting ducks. And I like the variety of ducks that you can shoot on public land too, because a lot of private land stuff, you're going to shoot a lot of mallards, and occasionally you'll shoot a pintail or a widgeon, but I really enjoy the public land grind, and I think I'm looking forward to that next year.
Awesome. Matt, are you looking forward to anything?
Opening day, I guess probably teal season. I just, for whatever reason, you're waiting, and then here it is, boom, September 5th, and you go out there, and and they're just dumb birds. Usually it's always great hunting. So I just love that teal hunting.
Yeah.
Because it's the first chance to actually duck hunt, and because they actually cooperate usually.
Yeah. I'll kind of add on to mine. I'll say my chasing the openers series was just so much fun, and we had just had so much success on it. It's just traveling down opener after opener, and I have a feeling that this year is going to disappoint compared to last season, but we'll see.
The thing with chasing openers, I've done that for a couple of seasons now. It kind of takes the fun out of opening day. Like your first opener, it's fun. It's exciting, but after that, especially if you're hunting public land on opening day, it gets a little bit old, because it's the same thing regardless of where you go. Everybody and their dog is out there, and you're trying to compete with them. So opening day is fun, but only a couple of times in a year. Wouldn't you agree?
I guess it depends where you're at, because opening day is always one of our best hunts, And so it seems like wherever you travel it's really, really good hunting. And so, for I would say for our area, it tapers down pretty quickly. Opening day is the best, the next weekend after that, and then starts to drop off. And so it's like, yeah, you definitely have to compete against everybody else on the hunts. But too, the other thing is, if I'm traveling and can hunt 3 weeks before I can here, it's like, well, I wouldn't be hunting anyway. So, if I have to do 4 weeks of openers to hunt for 4 weeks, well, I'm going to do it.
I think to add on to the whole theme of what we're looking forward towards next season, I think most people in the U.S., especially those in anywhere that could be considered a southern state, are just hoping for a real winter this year, because it seems like we haven't had that in a couple years now.
No.
I kind of like the winters we're having.
Yeah, because they shortstop all the ducks in
They
Kansas.
kind of just stop here, but then they get stale every now and then, and we don't have to deal with too much ice. It's kind of nice.
Yeah.
But for you guys down south, it'd be pretty nice to have a good winter. Looks like we got a couple of members joining, so that's pretty sweet. I just opened up the membership deal a little while ago. I'm gonna have to play around with that. I didn't know if people would actually apply to be members to the channel, but that's pretty cool. We got Quack and Stack Outdoors, and then we had one earlier that I think I saw. Let me
I
see
think
if
we
can
answered
give
one
him
of
a
his
shout out.
questions.
Here we go. Jace. Jace is a member too. So that's cool. I'm going to try and do some early release content and special live streams for members and things like that. So if you guys are interested, check it out. Help support the channel. Ooh, what's the coldest hunt that you have been on?
That's a good question.
Cold, freezing cold. And
I think
if we're talking wind chill or actual temperature, that's the real question.
Let's go with wind chill. It sounds cooler.
Yeah, wind chill is way cooler. I don't even know. I think it was like -20, something like that. -15 somewhere. I think it was when I was in Colorado. That was one of the coldest hunts I've been on.
Yeah, I'm right about the same. -20 wind chill. It's like, honestly, when it gets that cold, it doesn't even feel any colder than like 0.
It's the wind though, and if it's like kind of moist out, like you got snow or something,
Yeah,
makes it even worse.
Mm-hmm. We get that a lot in our late goose season, January and February. It gets really cold.
Yeah, for me, it'd be actually have video of the hunt, but it was high of 3 degrees that day, and we stayed out. I bet it was probably 6 hours. Like we went out mid-morning, stayed till it got dark, and we ended up shooting our limit, but that was a cold day. And I don't know what the wind chill was. It would have been negatives, but
Were you in a pit blind?
no, we were sitting out. We were in like an open air blind kind of thing. Yeah, that was cold.
Yeah.
Coldest I've done is somewhere between like 5 and 10 wind chill. And that was what I fully expect to be the coldest I ever hunted in Virginia, probably.
So this question kind of reminds me of a good thing to talk about is late season honkers. All right. So most of the time, honkers will kind of stay on the roost a little longer when it's cold outside and then go feed. They're pretty predictable in late season when they're kind of forced to go feed because it's so cold outside. How do you guys like to get out in the morning and hunt? Like, what time do you guys normally get to the field and set up your decoys? Because I've done it where I get out there at like 7:45, 8 o'clock, 8:30, and we're setting decoys to hunt the birds that fly at like 9:30.
Man, sometimes it feels like on those super cold hunts in late season that they just don't fly till later in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think I've had more success on the field hunts in late season trying to get them on that evening push kind of right before last light. I mean, you do have, it seems like there's two good opportunities. Like you're saying, you get the 9 o'clock birds and then you get the, 4:30 birds.
Yeah, when we field hunt geese and it's super cold, they won't fly till 9 a.m. at the earliest. Most times it's not till noon if it's super cold. So it's actually kind of nice because you get to sleep in a little bit, but then you got to do all that work right beforehand, and then you're kind of just waiting until those two big flights of the day, or there might only be one flight of the day and they feed the rest of the day.
I haven't shot a bird in a dry field in 3 or 4 years, so no comment from me.
Do you guys ever cook in the duck blind?
I do a lot.
Sometimes.
What's your meal of choice?
Breakfast. I do like sausage and eggs. Actually, one thing we did is last year I took all my goose to the processor that I had left over in the freezer, made it into goose breakfast sausage, and then took that out on the hunts, mix that with some eggs, get some tortillas, and you make some mean breakfast burritos. That was kind of like my go-to all duck season. Get the little Coleman gas double burner, whatever you call it, a camp, little grill.
Yeah, we've done, last year we did deer loin in the blind. That was pretty tasty. That's kind of hard to beat out there.
Duck tongue dumplings are pretty good. I've done those a couple times.
A what?
Duck tongue dumpling?
Sounds like he's making something up.
Dude, you gotta get it out of the Hank Shaw book.
Hey, I haven't actually. I need to get someone eating a duck tongue on camera. You're the only one I think that got that so far.
That's true. That's true. Oh, that was funny. He thought we were being serious. It was a joke because Adam and I were telling him it was on his first hunt that he's ever been on. We were telling him, like, if you shoot your first duck, you're gonna have to eat the tongue out of its mouth. And he totally believed us, and he did it. And he ripped the whole tongue out of its mouth, and it had like these two muscles coming off the back. It was really weird. But yeah, I saw somebody eat a duck tongue in the field. It was a teal, but still, I wouldn't do that.
I have a question for the chat. Has anybody ever shot a duck or a goose in a dry rice field, or do people only hunt flooded rice fields? Because I was reading a comment here that someone asked.
Favorite duck to eat?
Yeah, I was gonna go on that one. I'm gonna say pintail. Jordan would know about that. Jordan would know.
Yeah, all the pintails I've ever ate were nasty. I would say wood duck.
Wood duck and green winged teal are neck and neck for me.
No canvasbacks, anybody?
Cans are by far and away the best diver, but I still think the woodies and the green wings have them beat a little bit.
Woodies are good. I'm not sold on the teal.
Teal's pretty good. The few times I've had it, I love teal.
I'm a big teal fan.
It depends on how you cook it, I guess.
We got a lot of people agreeing with woodies.
Woodies are good eating, especially if you leave the skin on. Whew.
Oh, we got one. Are any of you planning on hunting rivers at all? Or do you?
Yes.
I'd like to. I really want to hunt a river. I've hunted a river. Last season was the first time I ever hunted a river, and we didn't do very well.
Man.
But I want to find a good like river hole where like the riffles are keeping the water open and the ducks are staging there to go feed. Oh man. Because what happens is I've seen this happen where they roost up on like a lake or a pond or something, big watershed pond, and then they fly out and go to the river, and then they gather there, and then they lift up and go feed. I would love to hunt that river.
Yeah.
It'd be stupid.
Rivers and little streams can get really good. We got one where talking about cold hunts again, and same thing you're kind of saying. It's shallow. It's like knee deep, and it never freezes up. I mean, it can be -20, and that thing is still open. So we've had some awesome hunts where mallards come in there, and it just keeps it open, and you can just have some really fire hunts when it's cold and moving water like that.
Yeah, I hunt rivers every year, and actually, there's been times where they've actually capped over, and that was some of the best goose hunting I've ever seen. Like there'd be a little small channel on the other side of it or something, but where like the blind was or whatever, it'd be capped up enough that you could walk on it, and you just put shells out on the ice and everything, and they would just dump in. Now, granted, that's been 10 years ago, but yeah, river hunts can be awesome, especially late season.
Bobby Swaney wants us to have a merganser challenge. See who can shoot the most mergansers and save the most trout. I think that's a very good idea.
I think I would wipe the table with y'all.
How many did you shoot? How many did you shoot this last year?
3, but I could have shot a lot more. I do not like wasting $1 shell on them if I don't really want to.
It's like $1 though saves 1,000 trout.
See, typically where I see them is not where there are trout.
You realize that they're
trout in
migratory
Virginia.
birds, right?
Yeah, but
just because you see them there doesn't mean they don't go other places and eat fingerling trout. Come on, we got to save the trout.
We don't have fingerling trout in any big water bodies in Virginia.
They're migratory birds. They don't stay there.
I don't care about Maryland or PA trout.
Not a true conservationist.
I do want to hunt more rivers this year as well, but I want to do more jump shoots on them. I hunt rivers a decent bit, and I really want to get a 2-person kayak this year and do some jump shoots that way. That is my hope, at least.
See, with that,
so how do you do that?
Yeah,
how
go
do you
on.
do that?
What do you mean? Just jump shooting or in the kayak?
Yeah, so like I've heard of people floating rivers and then jump shooting ducks while they're floating down the river. I've always been curious about how you do that and how that actually works.
So basically, you just need the biggest hurdle to get over is you need 2 people with a truck. And basically, you just get however many kayaks you're going to take out and put them in one truck, and then park the other one at your takeout and drive up to your launch, put in, and float your stretch of river, and then take out. But it's difficult with kayaks, especially with if it's just yourself, because paddling and then pulling your gun up to shoot is quite difficult. Especially on smaller rivers, they just tend to see you a lot in the kayak. So we used to do it more in a John boat and float down in a John boat, and then you could have someone steering from the back and shooting. But I want to get the 2-person kayak to try it out. But in terms of you just kind of typically what we look for is any sort of blowdown along the bank, anything that gives the birds some sort of protection from the current. You'll a lot of times in cold weather, the birds will be right on the backside, and you just float up and they jump and you shoot them.
You think I could do that with the pedal drive kayak?
Yeah, that's one of the things I've thought about before. I think that'd be really effective.
Even though it's not camo?
Yeah. I mean, shoot, it's weird. Like, as long as you look anything like, especially when those rivers get cold, those birds do not want to get up off the river if they don't have to. They don't want to use any extra energy. So if you resemble a log at all, they'll typically let you float right up on them.
Yeah, I've seen some cool videos of people using sneak boats, and it's like a boat that literally is like brushed up, got sticks on it, and everything, and they just roll up to ducks, like you're saying, Thomas, just floating down, and it's like a big layout boat almost that's a sneak boat that floats down the river, then they just sit up. There's some people, with anything like water swatting or whatever, people get mad at you for jump shooting there.
Yeah, it's just I think it's apples and oranges, honestly, in comparison to trying to decoy birds. It's just a completely different style of hunting. It requires different techniques, but I think it's a lot of fun, and it's awesome because you can do it in the afternoon. So a lot of times it's kind of my fallback. If I have kind of a crappy hunt in the morning, I know I can go and float something in the afternoon if it's cold enough. And like that's a lot of times we won't even get on the water for jump shoots until 12 or 1 in the afternoon, and then float for a couple hours, and seems like that does just as well as in the morning.
So
Yeah.
you're just getting the birds as they're just hanging out for the early afternoon.
Yeah, basically. I mean, when it gets cold like that, at least in Virginia, it seems like basically when the swamps freeze over, all the birds pile onto the river. And then the majority of them, they don't really have any pattern at that point. They're kind of all doing their own thing, just trying to survive. So you have at least it's like there's a time point between when the swamps freeze and then it gets too cold for the birds to stay on the river. You have like 2 or 3 days when the birds are basically just living on the river itself, and they don't dry feed, they don't do anything, they just try to survive on the river, and that's when we really get on them.
So do you have to do it on a smaller river or can it be on like a big like main river?
I've done it on a bigger main river. It's not nearly as effective, and it's sort of a different style at that point. It's a lot of fun on those small, like curvy rivers where, because someone in Wisconsin just commented this too. They like to hang out on the inside of bends, really anywhere there's an eddy. But it's a lot of fun on those smaller, snaky rivers. The
Yeah,
thing is
that
on if they can the thing is if they can even on straight stretches on our smaller rivers, they will see you from a long ways off, and it's not even that they flush, it's just that they get alerted. So when they get alerted, it makes it really tough to get your gun up. You can float right up on top of them, but getting your gun up is the issue.
hmm.
Yeah, I think I'm going to try some of that this season too. I haven't done it much, but I definitely got some spots where I think it'd work.
I think it would be super cool with a shot cam. That's I definitely if you're going to do it, I think a shot cam would be a huge asset for that type of hunting and filming.
Josh, are you getting a shot cam?
I've thought about it. It's just one extra thing that I've already got. I use 2 GoPros and a big camera when I hunt, and that's already enough for me. But it's the whole editing and post deal for me.
Yep.
Just more work. It'd be cool. I'd love to see some of my shots from the shot cam, but you know, $700 for that seems a little steep.
Yeah, that's where I'm at too.
I saw someone comment earlier, Matt, they said that you should get a shot cam.
I saw.
I also,
I've thought about it, but I'm with Josh. The extra editing and stuff. Maybe eventually I will, but
Honestly,
right now I don't.
like I get the 700 on that for sure. Like I can, but like doing the editing myself, it's literally like when you have a kill shot, you just push like split frame and then like drag and drop because they're like 15-second clips every time you shoot. It's not like a constant video, so it's pretty easy to edit in.
I think it might be Elliot's favorite piece of camera gear. I bet if you asked him, he would say it is.
well, he doesn't really use a GoPro.
Yeah, that's true.
He's always got a camera guy, and you can't always rely on the camera guy. Like staying on ducks with a camera is incredibly difficult.
Also,
So
yeah, especially if you're
that makes
easily
sense.
distracted. Like my problem is
Yeah.
I'm like following the ducks on camera, then they get like close enough, and I'm like, you're so excited looking at the ducks, you forget about the camera in your hands.
Mm-hmm. I learned how to do it with geese. Geese are a lot more fun to do it with than ducks, I think, because geese move a lot slower coming into the spread, and you have enough time to make it work. And I think I got a lot of really cool shots of geese coming into the spread this past season. That was one of my favorite parts of the season, was hunting those ponds where the geese were just, they were committed, and you could have the camera poking out, film them all the way in, throw the camera down, pick up the gun, and shoot them. So you get the best of both worlds there.
Andy wants to know if any of us have fallen in the water while setting up decoys when it's freezing outside.
Like
multiple times.
are we talking like just like I lose my step and my hand goes in the water, like up to my elbow, or are we talking like full submersion? Submersion. That's how the word goes. Submersion.
For me, I've never fallen in with setting up the decoys, full submersion. I think all, for duck hunting, I fell in fly fishing a lot more. I don't know why, but for duck hunting, I haven't done it a ton. The worst I've had is where I actually ripped open my waders on a stick, and literally we had to break ice getting in there. Me and Chief were getting after a goose, ripped it in the woods, and had no idea. And then I just walked over, and when I got like waist deep in, I realized like my whole leg like filled up with water, and it was so cold.
I did that on a teal hunt once. I put my waders on from the last season and then went teal hunting, and my whole leg was soaking wet. But luckily, I mean, teal season is like 65 degrees outside, so it's not a big deal.
I've never done it setting up decoys. It's usually when I'm chasing cripples. Like I've had my whole arm fall in when it's icy out. I've taught my waders before chasing after a crippled goose. It's not fun. But setting up decoys, I never had a problem with it.
I have never gone underwater. Like I think the most I've ever had was, you trip or something in shallow water and your arm goes down and you catch yourself.
Yeah, I think you'd probably be in pretty big trouble a lot of times duck hunting if you go full submerged, especially if it's real cold.
If I go fully under, I'm done. I'm going to the truck.
Yeah.
Have any of you ever been injured on a duck hunt?
No.
Just my pride.
I guess the closest I could say is I've cut my finger up pretty good skinning birds, but not on an actual duck hunt.
I once cut my finger really, really. This is when, like, right when I started filming my videos, and I really wanted to start cooking soup in my videos because I always saw Elliot doing it. And I was like, oh, this is, I want to make some soup in my video. That'll be so cool. And the first time I ever tried to do it, I tried to open the can and I cut my finger like really, really deep on a can lid. And then I basically just spent the rest of the hunt just trying to get the blood to stop. So that was my first experience with trying to cook in the blind.
First and last.
So we got a question about what our personal favorite and personal best motion decoy is. What do you guys think?
Are we counting spinners as motion decoys then?
I would consider spinners motion decoys.
They do have motion, so. I mean, I'll say for me, I'm obviously a big fan of the Motion Ducks decoy spreader, the ultimate one where you get 7 in there, makes a ton of ripples. And then as far as like, Mojo or Lucky Duck, either one of those, I've actually been using Lucky Ducks the last couple of years for like your spinning wing. I really do like having a spinning wing out there as well. But as far as getting motion in your set, I haven't seen anything that's better than the Motion Duck decoy spreader.
Yeah, I'd be right there in line with you, Jordan. And you see, I use the Mojos and the Lucky Ducks too for spinners, and then the Motion Duck system is like a jerk rig on steroids. I love it.
Yep.
I agree. I really like the motion ducks. I think it was, if I was to pick like one piece of gear that I felt like changed the way how successful I was since I've started hunting, it would be that. But I also really like the Higdon Pulsator. I like the simplicity of it. You know, to be able to have hands-off water motion is really nice. The thing is, I feel like you would need, you know, I have one Pulsator. I always feel like if I had 3 or 4, it'd make a bigger difference.
So I really like a good jerk cord, and I've used the motion duck spreader, and that thing works amazing, and I really like that thing a lot. But I'd say early season spinners are the best, and if it's a still day, put a jerk rig out. But one thing that I used this past season, which is very unconventional, is my ice ripper. And so we use the ice ripper to open up some water and have open water to hunt on a pond. It froze up overnight, so we used the ice ripper to open it up. And so we left it running on, I have a big generator, but my buddy's got an inverter. So there's a little difference between the generators and inverters. The inverters run a lot quieter, but they still produce the power of a generator. And so we were running the inverter. I mean, you could still hear it buzzing and humming, but the birds didn't care. And we left that thing running, and that ice ripper, you get that thing down low in the water, it makes all of your decoys move, and it works great.
Yeah. That does sound like a pretty sweet deal on that.
I've
Okay,
always wondered that, like, why don't we literally just throw in like literal just water movement things in the water? Like, just put out a big, I don't know, basically an ice, but you could make a cheaper version of an ice eater and just throw it out in the water, and it would do more motion than any of these other motion decoys, I think.
Yeah, once you get the water moving, it's pretty much the same thing as having decoys moving, because
Mm,
once the water's moving, your decoys are moving. So essentially, you're trying to accomplish the same goal as getting the water to move to make the decoys move.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I think that is kind of like what a butt rippler is, though. It's just like small and compact and you can carry it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting an ice ripper, if you're able to drive up to where you're hunting, it's no big deal. But if you've got to lug it around, um, that's heavy.
Yeah. Yeah. It's as far as the states that don't let you use spinners, obviously, like the motion duck decoy spreader is like that's where kind of it has, I would say, the most shine. In the states where you can't use a mojo at all or any other type of motorized motion duck, so you got to have a jerk rig, and like Matt said, it's a jerk rig on steroids. So, um, you know, honestly, I don't get why they don't let you use them in those states. I don't think it's like that much of an advantage that it should be outlawed, but
Yeah, not anymore. Maybe when they first came out.
yeah.
Someone asked
Okay,
us. Oh, here, go ahead, Matt.
Thomas.
Well, someone asked.
Non-duck hunting YouTube favorite non-hunting duck hunt or favorite non-hunting YouTube channel to watch.
I got some good ones.
Yeah.
So, for hunting, Chris B, if you like deer hunting, he has great deer hunting content, and he has, I don't know, he has awesome B-roll and filming, and for me it's like the whole package. He does series and goes on trips. He did like his Western tour last year where he went out and shot like, I don't know, $5 out west. He lives in Michigan, and so for deer hunting, that's like a really cool channel. And I'm not even a big deer hunter, but I just love the way he does his content. And then I like John B, like the fishing style. Again, like he does really, really cool, high quality content. And for me, that's what I like. I like people who are real and then do real high quality content.
So I'm gonna go with You Betcha. This guy, he does like a bunch of reviews on Yetis and always has a bush light and does some pretty funny
Matt,
stuff.
you can't pick your dad.
He'd be probably one of my go-tos. I like watching his stuff.
I really like Deer Meat for Dinner. I've been watching him for gosh knows how many years now, and he's always kept it pretty consistent. And I always felt like he's pretty real. So I've like his videos. He does all sorts of stuff too, hunting, fishing, whatever.
I'm a big fan of Demolition Ranch.
I've been watching those videos for so long too.
He's one of my favorites. I watch his Off the Ranch channel too. Those two channels are some of my favorites.
That's interesting.
And believe it or not, I really don't watch too many hunting videos on YouTube anymore. It's just I do it so much for me and my channel. I want to disconnect and watch some other stuff in my free time.
Yep.
Any other questions?
Are we kind of winding down here?
Yeah, I'm not seeing many more.
If anybody has questions, last questions.
Everybody smash that like button.
Last call. Last call. Lights are on. Grab your girl and get out. We've all been there. So, while we're waiting for the last final questions to come in, if you guys are just tuning in, make sure to hit the link at the top of the description of this live stream. Head over to the Flyways Collective YouTube channel. Be sure to hit the subscribe button over there because we're going to start doing these live streams over there here pretty soon. And you guys don't want to miss out on that. We're also going to be doing some other content from that channel as well that won't be featured on our main channels here, which is Duck Gun Chronicles, Hyper Sportsman, Outdoor Limits, which is myself, as you guys know, and Virginia Outdoors Unlimited. So check out the Flyways Collective. We got the YouTube channel, we got a Facebook, and we've got an Instagram. Give us a follow, and it will be much appreciated. And I think we've got some stuff coming to the Instagram and Facebook soon. So be sure to give us a follow on there.
Awesome.
We got a whole slew of questions.
All right,
Wow,
let's lightning round these questions.
Lightning round.
All right, I got them up. I'll just read them off and y'all answer. Any hunting trip on your guys' mind?
We got the Flyways collab.
Cranes.
Yeah.
Cranes. Don't have
Flyways.
it planned. Want to do it. I want to shoot cranes.
Definitely Flyways Collective is what I'm looking forward to. Y'all ever think of hunting in Alaska? I'd like to, but probably won't for a long time.
Out of the budget, but would be awesome.
I feel like in terms of checking new species off your list, that's definitely up there in terms of places you can do that.
Yeah, it's just so far to travel.
Yep. Would you guys ever hunt with a subscriber? I think we all have.
Yeah, I hunted with Thomas, and he's a subscriber, so.
In the early days, in my hunts with subscribers, quite a few of them they've become pretty close friends of mine. So that's kind of cool.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Abe H just said, is Jordan the same guy from You Betcha? Thanks, man.
Dude, you kind of look like
You
him.
betcha.
The bush.
That's pretty funny.
Oh, that's cold.
Oh my gosh. Jordan, do you own any Yeti things?
Any Yeti things? I got a Yeti. What do they call them? The Yeti insulated coffee cup with a lid from work. So that's the only thing I own. All right, lightning round this, Thomas.
Any merch for the Flyways Collective?
It's in the works.
Working on it.
Maybe.
Favorite state to hunt ducks? I think that's all probably going to be our home state.
Kansas.
Everyone go to Kansas.
I really like hunting in Nebraska, especially in the Sandhills region. It's phenomenal duck hunting. If you ever want to
Yeah.
go shoot a good variety of ducks throughout the year, check out the Sandhills region of Nebraska.
There's no birds here in Nebraska. We freeze up. They got the heated ponds down in Kansas. They keep all the birds there.
I thought that was in Indiana.
I don't even
Yeah,
think.
that's right. Indiana is the true waterfowl mecca.
Yeah,
That's true.
They
I've
actually
heard a lot of
stopped-
good things about Indiana.
they've stopped selling licenses here. Actually, not enough demand.
Right.
Do you guys ever hunt gang rigs?
No.
I have not.
Nope.
What? No, me either.
Basically, like a long line. Not seeing anymore.
I guess I have.
Oh,
I've
what do you
hunted it
guys
in
think about the
Michigan.
cancellation of the 2020 waterfowl breeding and habitat survey?
It's not ideal, but I mean, there's not much they can do.
Yeah,
I can still shoot 5 mallards, so I'm happy.
yeah. As long as you're happy with what your limits are now, because they're not going to change.
Yep.
Sucks to be Thomas. 1
Yeah.
goose and 2 mallards.
I'm
Oof.
It sounds weird, but I'm happy it happened. No, I'm not happy it happened this year, but I'm probably going to be going up there to help participate in one of the next two. So it would have really sucked if I was planning on going up to like North Dakota this summer and then they canceled it.
We hit them all up.
I think we got
size and kind of weights to hold your floating decoys. I run rig 'em rights, like an 8-ounce egg weight.
Lifetime decoys. 48-inch, 4-ounce weights. Won't
I
run
like
anything else.
I'm an outlier. I use J weights, but that's because I hunt all different types of depths. So I don't like having just one set depth for my decoys.
That's got to take you forever to pick up decoys.
Yeah, it definitely takes a lot longer than most other people.
I switched to use. I used a lot of duck nuts this last year. They work pretty well for the tension system on there.
Ooh, here is a great question, which I'm going to answer first. Have you ever had a bad hangover on a hunt? Yes. If you want to see me super hungover, go check out the 1 decoy challenge because that idea came up that night and we did it the next morning. Oh boy, that was a rough one.
I don't think so. Maybe back in my college days, but not very often. I'd usually just sleep.
For the sake of not incriminating myself, I'll say no.
You incriminated yourself.
Yeah.
That's a no for me. COVID affecting any hunting plans? I sure hope not. Come on, people.
Knowing with Virginia's dumbass governor, we'll probably have everything canceled here in a couple weeks.
Probably won't have guns by duck season either.
Favorite duck?
Mallards,
the ones that
bro.
fly into my decoys.
Mallards, bro.
Ruddy ducks.
Go with teal.
Got some sick hoodies. Mallards, bro.
You still have the
Ruddies,
Spoonies, bro
bro.
ones?
I've got some Spoonies t-shirts. Not very many left. The hats are sold out.
Chase asked, how would you suggest we scout for geese in the early season when cornfields are not cut yet?
If you
I
can
would
find,
say
oh, go ahead.
I would say find where they're roosting and follow them to their feed because they'll most likely go to probably a pond, feed on the grass around it, or they'll go to like a hay field or a wheat field or something like that. I'm not really familiar with really early season goose hunting when things aren't cut. So I'd say, geese, from my knowledge, they like to feed on grass a lot. So your best bet is to find where they roost and follow them to where they're feeding and hanging out.
Yeah, watch for
Yeah.
your dairy farmers. A lot of the dairy farmers have silage fields, and those will be the first ones to get cut and harvest for corn. So if you can find a silage field, I know that's not the exact question, but watch for those because those will be fire as soon as they're cut. And then same thing, wheat and hay fields before that. And then, beyond that, follow them, find their loaf ponds, and you can get some good loaf hunts as well on water early season.
Yeah, we deal with that a lot, not having the corn cut, and both your all's points were spot on. Definitely silage is one thing we focus on, and then grass too.
Okay. Well, I think we've reached a stopping point on this live stream. So, for those of you guys watching, make sure to go give us a follow on the Flyways Collective. We got a YouTube, we've got an Instagram, and we've got a Facebook. Give us a follow on there. Also, go follow Virginia Outdoors Unlimited, High Prairie Sportsman, and Duck Gun Chronicles on YouTube. I didn't link them in the description, so you have to look them up. But go give those guys a follow. Those guys are here on the stream with me, and we are the Flyways Collective, plus a couple more we'll be posting on the YouTube channel soon. And like I said, we'll be trying to do these live streams on the Flyways channel once that gets up and rolling. But until then, thanks for watching, and we will see you guys on the next video.
Later.
Yeah.